April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. Hear about how one local nonprofit serves children all year long. UATV starts now. This might look small, but cigarette butts are the most littered item on Arkansas roadways. In fact, only 10% of them are disposed of properly. They might look like they're made of paper, but they're actually made of plastic, and they don't biodegrade. Tobacco products make up nearly 40% of all roadside litter, and that's a problem you can see just by looking down. 2024, the Children's Safety Center helps 740 advocacy clients. These handprints that you see beside me stand as a symbol of hope and healing for those families and the thousands of others that they have helped. Business owners say that weather-related closures are always a risk at this time of the year, but they hope the worst has passed. One of our reporters is trading the hardwood for the fairway. Golf season is in full swing, and groundskeepers are working hard to keep courses in top shape. From power struggles to dark secrets and maybe even some supernatural forces, Season 1 lays a foundation for a story that only gets more twisted from here. The first Friday songwriting workshop was started about a decade ago, but a year and a half ago, the Folk School of Fayetteville invited the group to host their workshop here. Since then, it's become a monthly tradition for songwriters all across Northwest Arkansas. Inside the Folk School of Fayetteville, the sound of strummed guitars and tapping feet fills the room. It's the first Friday of the month, which means songwriters, both new and experienced, have gathered to share their work and grow as artists. When Chris Gehring started this workshop almost 10 years ago, he knew what kind of atmosphere he wanted to create.
Give them a welcoming place and a supportive place where they can get feedback.
While many see the vibrant music scene on Dixon Street, just a few blocks away, songwriters are building a community where they can work on their music without judgment.
I think when you have like an opportunity to be heard, generally speaking, people feel like they're more of a part of things.
Each songwriter takes a turn performing and sharing lyrics and melodies they've been working on. Then, the group offers helpful suggestions and insights that can shape the song's next version. For participants like Cheryl Lindley, this feedback is invaluable.
Spread out my sheets of paper and I see what they've written. It's just been really a great opportunity.
Songwriting became a new creative outlet after she picked up music later in life.
Start playing an instrument until a few years ago after I retired. I just never felt like I had time.
For many, it's more than songwriting. It's about sharing stories and finding a supportive community.
I think when you can sort of like be a part of the greater humanity of life, there's good to be had from that, and songs is one of the most beautiful ways to do that.
Being able to sit in on this workshop, I saw firsthand how vulnerable songwriting can be. And some of these members just write their songs in the privacy of their own house, and they only share it with the group in this workshop. And I saw that they were only met with encouragement. Reporting live at the Folk School of Fayetteville, I'm Gracie Tuohy. I'm here at North Villa Boulevard, which is one of the many streets that Avis and Kenneth Ruggie volunteered to pick up litter at. I was able to join them here last week as they picked up 4 bags of litter over 3 hours. On the streets that Fayetteville residents use every day, one local couple sees an opportunity to make them cleaner. What started as a way to stay active during retirement has turned into something much bigger.
2023, we've actually picked up 250 bags of litter, and we fill them where they're heavy.
Avis and Kenneth litter pick so frequently that they were recognized by the city for their efforts. People even try to give them money, but it's not about getting recognized. They just want to encourage others to join in.
We need to be proud of our country and stuff. Now people don't even care. They wanted to get it out of their car, and their country is being used as a trash can.
This might look small, but cigarette butts are the most littered item on Arkansas roadways. In fact, only 10% of them are disposed of properly. They might look like they're made of paper, but they're actually made of plastic, and they don't biodegrade. Tobacco products make up nearly 40% of all roadside litter, and that's a problem you can see just by looking down. And while Avis and Kenneth pick up litter all year round, Fayetteville's Volunteer and Ecological Programs Coordinator says one of the challenges they face is having cleanups in mainly April and October. The city of Fayetteville has an Adopt Your Outdoors program where individuals or groups can adopt a park, trail, street, or creek.
I think it instills a sense of ownership in a space. People take pride in areas where they live and they take care of them, and they're great stewards of these spots.
And even small efforts can lead to change.
If there was only one person cleaning up, it's going to make a difference. And that's the way we look at it.
For those interested in volunteering to pick up litter throughout the city, they can reach out to Christina Jones, and the city will provide them with a litter picker and a safety vest, gloves, and garbage bags. Reporting live for UATV, I'm Gracie Tuohy. Since 2016, Canopy NWA has resettled over 900 refugees in Northwest Arkansas. But on January 20th, President Trump signed an executive order stopping refugee travel, meaning no new refugees will be coming to the area for the foreseeable future. A few days later, on January 24th, refugee resettlement agencies across the country received a stop work order, halting reception and placement programs. These programs provide essential support to refugees within their first 90 days, providing basic housing, food, and transportation. The volunteer coordinator at Canopy NWA said they anticipated the suspension of refugee travel. However, it is still deeply felt, especially among those who are expecting to reunite with their family members.
There's still some fear, and there's a lot of sadness as well, as many of our clients here, they had family members who were still stuck in other countries and were expected to come and resettle here.
With federal funding on hold, Canopy NWA is relying on the community to provide donations and local support while they continue to provide resources for newly resettled refugees. Since there is no update on refugee travel or federal funding for resettlement agencies, Canopy NWA is committed to assisting those who have already made Northwest Arkansas their home. Reporting live for UATV News, I'm Gracie Tuohy. This is the Cardinal Apartments behind me, and police say that both students fell from fifth-floor balconies at separate apartments. I spoke to a student and local authorities about how the campus is responding. Cardinal Apartments, home to many University of Arkansas students, has been the site of two serious falls in recent weeks. The Cardinal Apartments are located right off campus and were incorporated into University of Arkansas housing in 2024. Students living in the complex have felt the impact of these accidents, and many are reflecting on how to prevent future tragedies. Sophie Hoff, a freshman resident, hopes the incidents serve as a wake-up call for others.
I know that the RAs told us to stay in our rooms when both of these things happened, and there's been a lot less people around here.
Authorities are currently investigating if alcohol or drugs were present with these falls.
Of that, but we wouldn't be able to say definitively until we get toxicology back.
Sergeant Mock advises students to be cautious while drinking near elevated surfaces.
Don't congregate or hang out on these elevated platforms while you're drinking. The amount of horseplay should be taking place with those conditions.
For Sophie, these tragedies are a reminder of the importance of caution, especially for freshmen adjusting to college life.
These have definitely shown other people to be more careful when they're drinking or just in general with these balconies. Especially here, we're all freshmen, so we don't make the smartest decisions.
As students process this tragedy, the university encourages those who feel they may need additional support to reach out to CAPS. The Cardinal is also working on having CAPS be available for on-site residents. For UATV News, I'm Gracie Tuohy. Last Friday was the day of no silence, and to spread the word, UArk Pride hosted a tabling event to speak out and claim space for LGBTQ+ students on campus. The Day of No Silence was once a day of silence, a protest that started 20 years ago where students and allies would not talk for a whole day to highlight how often LGBTQ+ voices are silenced. But last year, the founding group decided that silence is no longer an option, and UArk Pride agrees with anti-LGBTQ+ legislation on the rise. The ACLU has been tracking over 560 anti-LGBTQ+ bills that have been introduced or passed across the United States, and Arkansas has 9 of them.
It's important that we don't take the effort to silence ourselves when so many outward forces are already doing that for us.
UArk Pride, that stands for People Respecting Individual Differences and Equality, is more than just about visibility. The group is about building community, providing support, and creating spaces where LGBTQ+ students feel safe being themselves on campus. This is the second semester the group has been on campus since their return from before COVID, and events like this mark their comeback. From the Day of No Silence to their upcoming Pride Prom, their presence on campus matters, as the members would say. And and especially in a time where LGBTQ rights are under attack nationwide. Reporting live at the Multicultural Center, I'm Gracie Tuohy.